what's going on, everybody? My name is Justin, and behind me is my basically brand new 2026 BMW M2 CS. Now, you may be wondering why I say basically. Here's why. So obviously, as you guys can see, this car has already unfortunately been in a very slight accident. So now we're going to take apart everything. We're going to see what new parts I need, what parts I could save, what needs to be done on the car, and I'm going to walk you guys through the entire process of rebuilding my brand new, to me, 2026 M2 CS. Now, taking off the front bumper, which is attached by these little zip tie looking things, except it's like metal, extremely hard to cut. The crash bar is on there. Obviously the front bumper is garbage. It's ripped apart everywhere. However, the crash bar is in perfect condition right here until this part right here. So this is aluminum, so it is a bit hard to fix, but I definitely think we can save this crash bar. We could definitely save this. This horn is a little bit wacky, but it's the radiator support, radiator brackets right here. This looks savable, but looking at the car here, essentially we need to get a new rocker, a new fender, a new bumper, and then who knows what. Obviously this suspension right here is a bit messed up. Let's take a look at the wheel. The wheel is definitely savable. There's just some curb rash on it, but I can see this side radiator right here is just being held on by this. Obviously the hoses are still connected, which is a good sign. We do have the oil cooler at the bottom here. I hate how BMW makes this design at the very bottom. However, all the oil lines are still connected right there and right there on the other side, as you can see. So that is a good sign. Obviously you can see the frame rails right here completely untouched. We see some sort of wiring harness. She does have a parking sensor, so I believe it attaches to one side of the front bumper. But we have this big main radiator right here. This radiator is in flawless condition, completely untouched, which is an amazing sign. Obviously the hit was on that side as well, and this side obviously looks perfectly fine. This is the side radiator right here. We have another wiring harness, which everything is nicely taped up, so shout out to the insurance job who did this. They did make sure to take care of everything, but we are missing some fender liner here. Obviously the crash bar is not in, but this is looking like very, very light damage, guys. Now the car did come in with a few things that are missing. Obviously you guys did not see the headlights right here on the front. There's no mirror, and on the interior, the main thing I'm missing is the CS door trim. So we are going to take a look at that, see what we can do. But good news, the car did come with 2 bags filled with parts, so I'm going to go ahead, take everything out, see what we got in there. All right guys, so we just went through both the bags. Now before I show you guys what actually came with the car, I just want to show you guys this carbon fiber trunk. This is fully carbon fiber. It's genuinely the lightest thing I've ever felt. The thing that sucks about this car is the hood is not carbon fiber, unfortunately, but this trunk and this little one-piece connected duckbill, whatever you want to call that, looks amazing. So let's see what we have here for the damaged parts. We obviously have the rocker right here. You can see it was hit right here. This is plastic, so going to the garbage. Now we do have the fender as well. Fender was banged up pretty nicely. Damage here, damage on the bottom. Pretty much all over. The paint is scratched, and there's damage right here. Now to all the parts that came in, I am very, very happy with what came in. The first thing being a headlight. This headlight is in flawless condition. The lens is perfectly fine. All of the mounting brackets are fully attached. The second thing is the carbon fiber mirror. This thing has no scratches at all. Don't know why it was taken off, but it's perfectly good. Now, we do also have the door seal, the front radiator, all of the grills, minus one. There is an air duct that's missing, but these carbon fiber grills are literally brand new. This grill was wrapped up in this bubble wrap right here, so I'm not sure exactly what happened, but here's all the parts that I am going to reuse. Everything here is in flawless condition. We have the foam bar for the crash bar. We have the air ducts for the auxiliary coolers, or the auxiliary radiators. Front bumper support right there. Fender liners, a bunch of underbody panels, and the full 9 yards. And another thing I was really happy to see is actually these wiring harnesses that came with it. One thing about these wiring harnesses is they are VIN specific. Obviously you can get different options from dealer. So luckily it has all the wiring harnesses, and this is looking very, very good. Alright guys, so now we have the M2 behind us. Very first thing I'm going to do is I have to take off this gas cap right here, since I am picking up some parts. You guys will see it in just a second. And I do need the gas cap to drop it off as a paint sample. That way the rocker, the fender, the new bumper, as well as the engine cover will all get paint matched to be the perfect color. So let's get this thing off and let's get it going. So that was actually surprisingly easy to take off. There's no clips or nothing, you literally just pull it off. So let's go drop this off. So now the next thing I'm going to do, kind of just while I'm waiting for some parts to come in, is I am going to put on this carbon mirror back on the car, as well as this M2 CS door trim, door seal actually. It says M2 CS right there, which is sick. And something that's pretty crazy is this is still wrapped. When you buy it from dealer, this comes wrapped. So that did save it, luckily for me, as well as I did know. All right guys, so we just pulled up to the parts shop. We're in my current M2, just finished rebuilding it. It's a 2023, obviously rebuilt title, got the full carbon on the front end, it's lowered. This thing is nasty. Got an F82 right there, part shop right there. So let's go ahead and pick up my fender as well as my rocker. All right guys, so just got the new parts. We have a blue fender right here, so that needs to get repainted. Underneath we have a rocker. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. Got the OEM cats for this car. But yeah, just picked up the rocker and the fender. We did decide to get the bumper straight from dealer. It was a little bit cheaper than buying an aftermarket, like a used bumper. So we are getting the bumper from dealer. That should be here in the next few days. But now we gotta go drop off these parts for paint. So now that you guys have seen the car, you guys probably have a few questions, starting with number one. Who managed to crash a brand new 2026 M2 CS with only 3,000 miles? Honestly, I'm trying to figure that out too. I have absolutely zero clue what happened to this car, but later in the video, you guys will see what I need to track down the original owner, just because a few different things are not adding up about this car. Question number two. Who on earth would spend $55,000 on a crashed BMW M2? Well, there's two different types of people. Either one, I'm an idiot, or number two, I just got the greatest deal of my life. All right, let's break this down for you guys. Let's start with the good news. The number one advantage of buying a used crash car from auction is the price. Insurance companies tend to total out a car when the repairs are equal or over 50% of the original car's value. It basically means you can buy a brand new car for an insane discount. Now, just for some context, for some of you guys who don't know the market, clean title 2026 M2 CSs are going for roughly $100,000 to $120,000, depending on a few different factors, mainly the mileage and the location. Now, for reference, my car only has 3,000 miles, which means I bought it for nearly 50% off what a clean title, obviously running car is going for. Now, before you guys start flaming me in the comments, why didn't you just buy a clean title M2? Now, the main thing is the money. Obviously, I got this car for $55,000 versus paying $100,000 to $120,000 from either a dealer or from an aftermarket seller. Now look, I want an M2 CS pretty bad, but not bad enough to sell my kidneys, so kind of had to improvise with that. The second reason I got this car is it is the second salvage BMW M2 CS in the entire world. Nobody has seen a rebuilt version of this car. So even if this all goes downhill, God forbid, turns into a crazy disaster, at least it'll be an entertaining disaster for you guys, not for me. Now, let's talk about the cons of this car. Now, the first one is pretty obvious. The car is crashed. And if you don't know anything about cars or don't know how to fix them, congrats, you just bought yourself a very expensive lawn ornament. The second downside, if you have no idea how to work on a car and zero experience, you will most likely have to pay a body shop or a mechanic to fix the entire car. Body shops will happily charge you more than enough money to the point where you could have just bought a clean title. And the third downside, which is why most people stay away from salvage cars, banks absolutely hate salvage or rebuilt title cars. You can't just walk into a random dealership or random chase, sign a few papers, and walk out with brand new keys. Nobody will finance salvage cars, and you have to pay for this car fully in cash. So watching $55,000 just leave my account like that felt, amazing at 20 years old. Now, the night before the auction, I sat down and I did a full breakdown, did all the math for the car, because if you don't know these numbers very, very specifically, you can get cooked before the car even shows up in your driveway. I went through every single part that I could see was damaged and started running down the numbers. Carbon fiber mirrors, $700. Front bumper, $1,500. Fender, another $500. Door, roughly $700. One headlight alone is going for $2,500 on the aftermarket. I don't even want to know what dealer's selling it for. Long story short, I saw roughly $10,000 in damages of used parts that I had to replace. However, that's only the damage that I can see on the pictures. On auction cars, there tends to be a lot of damage that you cannot see in pictures. So for all I knew, there could be another $10,000 worth of damages under the hood. And after running through all the numbers, all the possibilities, finding as many used parts as I can, I came to one conclusion. I can only play this car to $55,000, not $1 more, if I want to make a minimum of $10,000 profit on this car. Now, fast forward 24 hours, it's auction day in the very morning. The car's already at $47,000 before the auction even started. So honestly, I had really low hopes for this car. Fast forward to auction day, the car starts bidding at $47,000. Boom, I bid $48,000. And now it's just me and one other guy going back and forth. As soon as I think I'm gonna win the car, boom, he places another bid. Every single time I thought he was done and he lets the auction run, he places a bid very last second. Now let me tell you, my cortisol was literally through the roof. And at this point, I'm sitting there thinking, bro, literally any other car is yours. Please just let me get this one car. Boom, $55,000, I placed my last bid. I'm literally biting my nails, scared out of my mind. And boom, I finally got the car for $55,000 flat. Now, here's the part that nobody tells you about auction. The winning bid is just the starting price. You have to consider fees, dealer fees, auction fees, shipping, which means before I even seen the car, I had already dished out roughly $60,000 total for the car. All right, guys, so we have good news and bad news. So the good news first being, when the car did come from auction, the insurance was generous enough to put like literally $5,000 worth of parts in the car. So I have basically all the underbody panels, the fender liner, the front bumper harnesses, air ducts, literally everything for the front end, I already have for the car. However, the bad news is that all that stuff came without any screws and bolts. So I went ahead, headed over to BMW, dropped literally $1,000 on just screws and bolts. But now we have a bunch. I don't know if you guys can see it on the frame right here, but we have a bunch of new screws. So we're gonna start screwing everything in. First off, starting with this lower oil cooler right here. As you can see, it's just attached to this, kind of just sitting in there, but it's not screwed in. So we did get 4 screws for that, 2 for each side. So we're gonna go ahead, screw that in. After that, we do have this radiator right here, which is busted. And we did manage to snag a steel on a used radiator from a local parts dismantler near me. So we are gonna smack this thing on, fill it up with coolant, and potentially give it its first run. All right, guys, so we did manage to screw on this bottom oil cooler right here. There's 2 screws right there, 2 on the other side. Also off camera, I did get this piece right here. It came with the car. Not sure why it was taken off. It's in flawless condition. Had the literal harness sitting there. Perfectly good condition. And we did manage to put the crash bar on. Did not screw that in just yet, but we do have 4 screws that are straight from dealer, 4 from each side to screw it in. But here comes our next problem. We do have the crash bar right here. Now, this is aluminum. If you go to the other side, that's what it's supposed to look like. And this is what it looks like now. It was a pretty slight hit. Now, a new one of these does run roughly $400, so I am going to try to bend this back to avoid spending $400 on a new one. Obviously, it's not too bad, but it is a little bit difficult since it is aluminum, so I'm going to heat it up, try to get it back in place as good as possible, and then we'll go from there. But for now, in the meantime, I'm going to screw in the crash bar. That way, everything is sitting perfectly fine. All right, guys, so we're all done working on the front end of the car for now. What I did was smacked on the new radiator. I am still waiting for the bracket. It's the old one right there. So did not smack on the bracket, but it is zip tied, so it'll just be chilling. Put on the crash bar, obviously. That little thingy in between the crash bar and the radiators. And then I wired full wiring harness. So we're all done on the front end. Now we are going to be moving to the interior. Now, you guys may be looking at the interior thinking, there's no airbags, the bucket seats are in here, everything's in here. What are you doing on the inside? So if you remember in the beginning of the video, I did mention I do need to get in contact with the owner since we are missing one thing on the interior, and that is this interior door trim right here. Now, if you don't know, it is a little bit different than the regular M2s. On the M2s, kind of has like a blue-red stripe on it, right there, right underneath where you open the door. But on the CSs, does not have that. It just says CS, and it is actually carbon fiber as well. So typically when I do get a new car, it is fairly easy to locate the previous owner. You either start up the car, have their name on it, boom, you find their Facebook, their socials, anything along those lines. Sometimes there's even paperwork in the car that has their full name on it and address, so it is very easy. But when this car did come, I did start it up, and then if you look at the screen, it literally just says welcome guest, and I was like, okay, maybe he doesn't have his profile set up or something. It literally says welcome to guest profile. So I went to the other profiles, and here you know it, there is no other profiles. Everything is fully cleared from the car, and there's no paperwork, absolutely nothing in the cars. If you are the original owner, or if you know the original owner and you're watching this, if you could reach out to my email, that would be great. I am looking to buy that door card off of you. Since I did reach out to dealer, it is a 4 to 6 month wait time, and I really do not want to do that. So in the meantime, what I did do is, I'll show you guys in a minute. So in the meantime, I did get a regular M2 door card. You see right here, it's blue-red instead of CS. Right here, it's supposed to be CS. But this looks very jankety. I'd rather install this in the meantime. So yeah, let's go ahead and get this thing installed. All right guys, so we did manage to get this door card installed. It was actually way easier than expected. It was literally one plug right there, and then you just line it up, and literally there's clips, you just bang it in all the way around the place. But this is what I was talking about earlier, is it's the blue-red versus, if you look at the other side, can't really see it right now, but right there it is carbon fiber, and when it is dark, it does light up and it says CS. But this is a good temporary solution. It is much better than, you know, not having a door card at all. So we got this installed, we got the mirror installed, and the interior is good to go for now. All right guys, so we're back here working on my 2026 M2 CS. I did do a few minor things off camera. Number one, I did get a replacement tire for this rim right here on the side. There's a little bit of curb rash on it, but it's nothing too crazy. I did go ahead and get the Michelin, again, just to match all the way around. Wouldn't put a non-Michelin on when I have 3 Michelins on it, so I had to make it match. So got that new tire and that new wheel installed. Everything looks good with that, seems to be holding air, and luckily the rim was not bent or anything, so that did save me some money. But we did get a few parts coming in today. So number one, we have this bracket right here. That's gonna go in the middle of the crash bar right there and kind of hold a little support frame. And then we did get a few more parts. We also finally did get oil. It was pretty weird. I tried buying oil last week, and they said that the service department was having an oil shortage, so they couldn't sell me any oil. But I came in today, got some oil, so we're gonna basically install some of these new parts. I did get a radiator bracket, I know for sure, so this radiator isn't hanging on a zip tie anymore. Then we did get a few minor things, so we're gonna go ahead and install all that, do an oil and a coolant change, and then we'll see from there. But for now, let's see what we got in these boxes. This literally just came in from BMW, went and picked up the parts, so not exactly sure what's in these boxes, but let's take a look. Number one, okay, this is an air duct. So the car actually did come with all the air ducts. Essentially how the M2s look, there's 2 air ducts on the side, there's a center grill, and there's a lower grill. So it came with all the grills and all the air ducts other than this one air duct. So we did get this straight from BMW. It was fairly cheap. It is kind of weird on the CSs, you would think they would make everything carbon. This is just literally black plastic. That's that. We got this new air duct. We're gonna go ahead. We actually don't have my parts that back from paint yet. As you guys can see, the fender, the bumper, and the rocker are still missing. But we're gonna do as much as we can today and hopefully get the car running on its first actual drive. So let's see what we got in this box now. Okay, yeah, that's exactly what I thought it was. So this is basically the auxiliary radiator bracket right here. As you guys can see, this is just hanging. It's not supposed to just be hanging. So this essentially installs like this with a few screws. This radiator bracket holds this radiator right here on the side. And yeah, so let's go ahead, install these new parts and install some other things we can do, and let's get to work. So if you guys take a look right here on this side, this radiator bracket wasn't damaged at all. Obviously the majority of the accident was on the other side, but you can see I kind of screwed in. So right here is the frame rails and this the crash bar. So the same screws that actually hold the frame rail and the crash bar, you can see there's 4 on the top, and 2 on the bottom do hold the bracket. So I do already have it screwed in on the other side. So what we're gonna have to do is unscrew all of these. Hopefully the frame rail doesn't just collapse on itself and the crash bar doesn't fly out. And we do have the 2 bottom screws right here and right here. So we gotta unscrew these 2, unscrew these 4, and then we can install the radiator bracket. So, as you guys just saw me struggling, I don't know why. This insurance company that got it totaled out at the body shop used these like zip tie things from Lee's Supply. I actually did some research. It's supposed to be for like HVAC zip ties, and they use it on cars. It's literally like metal. It's impossible to cut. So I just struggled for 30 minutes, not 30 minutes, like 10 minutes, cutting it off. So finally got it off. Got the screws out right there. So now we just have to install the bracket, and this is gonna sit just like that. Alright guys, so after further inspection, I did realize the dealer sent me the wrong side. I don't know if I ordered the wrong side, but now I have 2 driver sides. This obviously does not fit. I thought I was just tripping and it wasn't lining up, but I checked the part number. This is indeed for the wrong side. So now my radiator is just sitting on the floor. I don't have the bracket for it and I have to order a new one. So that's not good. So I'm gonna double check, make sure it wasn't on me and it was on the dealer's end for getting me the wrong side. So we're gonna have to go ahead, order a passenger side for this one. But in the meantime, let's see what else we can do. All right guys, so after further inspection, I went ahead, texted my guy at BMW. I did tell him passenger side, he misclicked it, accidentally got me the driver's side. So that is a bit unfortunate. We can't put on the radiator bracket just today. Gonna have to basically order a new one, wait a few days for it to come in. Mistakes happen. I do know my parts guy is probably watching this, so shout out Andre. It is what it is. But yeah, I guess in the meantime, for now, we're gonna do what we can do. So we have this new little bracket right here. This essentially goes on the back side right here. Once that's installed, we can basically install this little support bracket right here, and that'll hold it to that, and then we'll see what else we can do. So yeah, for now, let's just go ahead and get this thing installed. All right guys, so long story short, I don't even have the screws and I'm missing a few of the parts to do what I wanted to do on the front end today. So that's kind of unfortunate. We do have to just go ahead, order them from BMW. But in the meantime, I do have everything for an oil change as well as a coolant flush. So we're gonna go ahead and get that oil changed now. It is very, very easy. I'll guide you guys step by step on how to do it. So first things first, obviously you have to open up the hood. And then right here, there's a coolant expansion tank. And once you unscrew 2 of these hex bolts, there is essentially an oil filter underneath right there. You can't really see it, but once I unscrew it, I'll try to show you guys. What you have to do is unscrew these bolts, kind of move this oil or the coolant expansion tank to the side, and then unscrew the oil filter, take out the oil filter. Obviously, you have to replace that with every single oil change. Then, simple enough, you just open up the oil cap right there, easy. And then you have to go underneath on the bottom of the car. The first screw, second screw, second screw out. You have to be really careful. These are extremely small. You obviously don't want to drop them, but it is a size 5 to take it out. So once you unscrew that, just put that to the side. You guys can, hopefully you guys can see, you can move this coolant expansion tank, and then I do see the oil filter cover right there, so we have to get that off next. Just gonna give you guys a little bit of a better look. So you can see the screws are, that's the first one, that's the second one right there. You move this to the side, and then you can actually see the oil expansion or the oil filter right there. So you have to get a specific thing to unscrew that, and it's extremely easy to get that done. All right guys, so it is, my brother starting his truck. So it is a 34 millimeter, so I went ahead and screwed it on. Now we're just slowly unscrewing off this oil filter. It's not too tight at all, you can do it by hand. So I can feel it's already fairly loose. We're gonna take this out on the side. And then let's pull out actual oil filter. Unscrew the rest of it by hand. Okay. Boom. Okay, got the old oil filter out. You guys can see it's still covered in a little bit of oil. Probably should have used a rag or something. But the car does only have 3,000 miles. So I mean, an oil change isn't exactly, let me see if I can fix this camera angle real quick. So the car only has 3,000 miles. So I mean, an oil change isn't exactly necessary, but when you're buying a car from auction, you don't really know the previous owner, you don't know how long the car sat at auction. So rather be safe than sorry. I'd rather spend 300 bucks in an hour of my time changing the oil than spend $15,000 and a month doing a full engine swap. So we're gonna go ahead and change the oil. One thing that does suck when you're working on these cars at home is obviously I don't have a lift. So oil changes, I do actually have to get on the floor, get nice and dirty, which is kind of unfortunate. But we have the new oil filter right here. We have the new seals. So let's go ahead and swap over this oil filter. But extremely easy to take this out. You literally just push down on it, unscrew it, you pull it out, boom, so that's the old oil filter. Oil does look good. It literally looks brand new, I'm not gonna lie. But like I said before, I'd rather be safe than sorry, especially with not knowing the previous owner, not having any way to get in contact with him. I'm not willing to take a $300 gamble over my engine. Pop out this rubber seal right there, just like that. Then when you do buy the stuff to change the oil from BMW, they give you everything as a kit, which is looking super clutch. We got the new rubber seal right here. There also is a little seal for the actual oil screw at the very bottom of the oil pan. Put on this rubber seal first. You have this, you have the oil filter, and then essentially you just have to screw it in. So there's this part right here. That little tip right there screws in to the housing over there. So for this, you just kind of screw it in, push down on it, and then you can test it. Obviously you can see that's not going anywhere. So oil filter is good. We're gonna leave this aside for now. Now we're gonna get underneath the car and actually change the oil. All right guys, so we have the oil draining now. This was my first time actually underneath the car, but I don't know if you guys can tell, that oil looks really, really good. No red flags about that. Quite literally looks brand new. So I did notice we are missing a few things under here. Starting with number one, there is a bottom skid plate that's normally right here, like a fat long one that's missing. And then number two, it does look like he does have some modifications to the exhaust. I'm not sure exactly what, didn't really get to take a look, but if you zoom in right there, you can see there are some cuts and welds to the exhaust. So I am kind of curious to what he has done to this. But for now, we're just going to continue draining the oil and finish the oil change up. Also, a little side note, it does look like somebody tampered with the oil. Normally there's supposed to be this little thingy on it. And yep, it's not on there. So somebody definitely opened up the oil tank. I don't know what they did to it. Don't know what the shop did to it. But I'm guessing they were just checking if there was oil to see if the engine was seized or not. So not the worst news, but yeah, we're gonna go ahead and smack this on. It is still draining. We're gonna put in the new oil filter and then go ahead and fill it up with oil. All right guys, so the oil is just about done draining. We went ahead and put in that oil filter. It's kind of a pain to do that. Like I said earlier, there's like literally no space there, but we finally got the oil filter in. We're gonna go ahead, put in the new screw for the oil pan, screw that all up, and then fill it up with oil. I did just get BMW oil for this. Liquid moly was kind of a pain to get my hands on, so we'll do that for the next oil change. But I do believe it takes roughly 7 quarts or 7 liters. I forgot the exact measurement, but we have all that. So we're gonna go ahead, fill it up with new oil. All right guys, so we're down to our last, what is this, last quart of oil. Pour this in, and then the oil change is fully done. Only took me like 30 to 45 minutes, so honestly not too bad at all considering I don't have a lid. Obviously I've done this multiple times before, so that does help considering I know. But we got the last bit of oil in there. So the oil's all changed. Next thing we have to do is basically fill it up with some coolant, verify there's no coolant leaks. There shouldn't be. There wasn't too much, there was actually no coolant lines that were damaged, just that side radiator. So there shouldn't be any coolant leaks. We're just gonna fill it up make sure we're all good to go. The car did say it has low coolant, so I'm assuming it all spilled out, obviously from the auxiliary radiator, but we're gonna fill it up with coolant and then go from there. Now for the coolant, there is obviously the main coolant housing tank, then there's an expansion tank right there. So from the dealer, I only got 2 gallons of coolant. I don't think I should need too much. It also is a 50-50 mix, which is kind of clutch, where you do 1 gallon of coolant, 1 gallon of distilled water. So we're gonna unscrew this first, then we're gonna fill it up first with a gallon of coolant, check the levels, then we'll do a gallon of water and basically just repeat until it's filled to the max. And then the new BMWs do have like a pretty cool bleeding system. You just activate it on the inside, so have to bleed out all the coolant, make sure there's no air bubbles or nothing like that. But yeah, let's go ahead, fill this thing up with coolant. All right guys, so we just filled it up with 1 full gallon of coolant. It did overspill a little bit, so that is a good sign that maybe the coolant level wasn't too low, but it did seem pretty thirsty. It was gulping it up pretty quick, so we're just gonna let that coolant go through the system for the next 5 minutes. Not gonna run the car or anything, just kind of let it go through all the tubes and everything. And then I'm gonna come back with a gallon of distilled water, try to top it off, see where we're at with that level. Who knows, we might need to put some more, but for now we're looking really solid. All right guys, so it's currently the next morning after filling it up with coolant. I just came into my garage just to double check. And I don't know if you guys can see, but underneath here, there is a big fat puddle of dried coolant. I have a coolant leak somewhere on this driver's side. I don't know how there's a leak on the driver's side when the accident was on the passenger side, but now we do have to take a look and diagnose what the coolant leak is, make sure to get that fixed before we do anything further, and while we wait for new parts to come in.